Well, hello everyone. So we're back to Where Nutritious Meets Delicious, and I've been looking forward to this segment all week because we're doing my favorite thing, which is gluten-free treats. And I'm gluten-free, and a lot of people that come to see me are gluten-free, and so we're going to talk about what is gluten-free. And I'm just going to start by saying the difference is that gluten sensitivity, not everybody has gluten sensitivities. The big thing right now is gluten-free, gluten-free. Most people, all of our grains are sprayed with Roundup, and so people ask me all the time, how come I can go to Europe and have gluten and breads, but when I'm here I can't? And so the whole thing is if you look the way that wheat was made several years ago, and you compare it to how the wheat is now, there's a big difference. It doesn't look like it used to. That's why all of a sudden everybody's coming up with these gluten sensitivities. We can't process that. They're genetically modified, and we use Roundup on all of our grains. So a lot of people are switching to gluten-free. Their digestive system is actually handling it better. And that's all we serve at Redbird Pharmacy at our cafe, our gluten-free, right? So we're going to be talking about some of these. We're going to be talking about our Namaste flour that you can actually get at most Costco, which is a blend of sorghum flour, which we like to use. Sorghum flour is really good for digestion. It has lots of fiber, and even studies coming out with cardiovascular disease. And I kind of want to think that you're the first one that kind of stumbled across how we could use sorghum flour, right?
We did. When we started gluten-free at Redbird Pharmacy, we were trying to look for something alternatively different. We didn't want to do what everybody else is doing with there's quinoa flour, there's brown rice flour, there's other type of grain flours, there's bean flours. And so we stumbled upon onyx sorghum. Onyx sorghum is an ancient grain that has just the same amount of nutrients as quinoa,
yes.
But it's actually grown locally here in Texas, onyx sorghum. There's even onyx sorghum cereals now that you can find in the grocery store.
Right. And so they have lots of, they consider quinoa and sorghum flour a superfood. So in other words, it has some of the amino acids, which is our proteins that we need for a complete protein. So they say these superfoods like quinoa and sorghum flour, if we were to use these products in third world countries, we probably would not have starvation. So we pick sorghum flour. It has a nice taste, and it makes our sweets that we're going to be talking about extremely flavorful.
Yes.
So what are we talking about first?
Well, we're going to start with the first part of the day. We're going to talk about breakfast and brunch. Our favorite.
Right. Mm-hmm.
I know. So the first thing that we have right here is our gluten-free buttermilk pumpkin biscuit. The second thing we have is our gluten-free blueberry muffin. Now, a lot of our baked goods, they have a lot of the same bases. Butter, which we use Kerrygold grass-fed butter. It's the best butter absolutely on the planet that you can get. So we also sometimes we use the local butter, but for the best, richest, most nutrient butter, is that?
It's Kerrygold. It's
Kerrygold butter.
Kerry, and it's an Irish grass-fed butter that you can get at most any grocery store.
Everything we do has a sugar in it, and we use either a local Texas honey or we use coconut sugar.
Yes.
So you want to tell them a second about coconut sugar?
Well, so when you think about the glycemic index, maybe you've heard of this. Some foods convert to sugar more rapidly than others. We choose to use raw honey because raw honey actually has lots of health benefits, or coconut sugar because it's not as high in sugar as table sugar, and it has a little more benefits to it. So it's not going to spike insulin, first of all. Most people are either diabetic or pre-diabetic. We're hearing that more and more every day, and insulin resistant. So you want to use lower glycemic sweeteners. So that would be our coconut sugar.
All right. And then one more thing that we use in a lot instead of milk, sometimes we use organic milk, but also like in the biscuit, we use buttermilk. And there's advantages to buttermilk over just regular dairy.
Yes, so buttermilk is sour, so if you think it's cultured, you get that lumpy culture in it.
Like yogurt, right?
Yes,
okay.
But actually better than yogurt. I remember my grandmother we used to have buttermilk and cornbread. So anyway, it's really good in the fact that it's a fermented food, so it's going to have more health benefits for your gut and keep the gut nice and healthy.
All right, so for the biscuit, simple biscuit method. Butter, flour. Now when we say flour, we are talking about our Namaste mix.
Right.
It's a onyx sorghum flour mix. It's got a couple. It's got a little bit of xanthan gum, some tapioca starch, some potato starch. Not too much of it, but you have to have those in there as stabilizers.
Right, right.
And then eggs. For eggs, we use local farm fresh eggs. There's nothing better, nothing richer, nothing more nutrient than a local farm fresh egg. So that's in all of our baking.
When you crack the egg open, it should not be yellow, it should be orange. That has all the essential fatty acids and the nutrients that we need for our brain and proper cell function.
All right. And then also a little bit of baking powder. And like I said, regular biscuit method, butter, flour, buttermilk, eggs, baking powder, shape, let it rise in the oven, 15 minutes. It's good. It's really good.
We like to do it with some good uncured bacon and avocado and a nice pasture-fed egg and do
Chipotle
like
mayonnaise, homemade, of course.
Yes, a BLT biscuit. Nice brunchy, right?
Very. All right, the second one is a blueberry muffin. Again, same thing. The method that you use for muffins: butter, sugar, coconut sugar, milk, blueberries, eggs, baking powder. Not overly complicated. Simple. You can find any simple biscuit recipe or muffin recipe and just substitute these ingredients out and you'll be on the right track.
We like that because of the blueberries. Blueberries are high in antioxidants, so it's really good for your overall health and your immune system. And then of course we're using the gluten-free flour and put some Kerrygold butter on that. Yummy.
Right?
Yes.
All right.
Yes. So what else do you want to tell them about that?
Well, about
the pumpkin. Actually, we want to talk about the pumpkin and how it has a lot of beta carotene in it. So it's another antioxidant and full of vitamin A, which is really good for your eyesight. And it also has a lot of fiber in it. So we forgot to mention that.
We did. Again, nutritious, delicious. I'm just making it and eating it, and yeah. And I'm the what, she's the why. So, all right, we'll be right back for our other two treats.
Yes. Okay, so we're back talking about, once again, my favorite, the gluten-free treats. And so now we're going to be talking about our brownies that we came up with and our almond flour cookies.
Right, so we're getting into what everybody wants to know about chocolate. How can I get chocolate?
Yes.
Gluten-free chocolate, more chocolate. Well, tell you what, we've got two that they can't beat them. The two best chocolate ones.
Oh my gosh, that brownie is every woman's dream that feels like they need some good dark chocolate. And
it's rich, it's super moist, it's almost cakey, it's not dry, and I'll tell you how we do it. So kind of like our gluten-free brunch, our gluten-free chocolate treats is the same thing. Our base is butter, Kerrygold butter, coconut sugar, baking powder, and one of them we use the Namaste flour, and the other one we use an almond flour. So the cookie is an almond flour. In the brownie is unsweetened chocolate. Now, unsweetened chocolate is mostly for baking. You need to add a sweetener to it. Please, whatever you do, don't taste it thinking it's chocolate. It is...
I've done that before.
Yeah,
it's very bitter.
Very bitter. Very bitter.
Yes.
So unsweetened chocolate, butter, eggs, baking powder, and then our other base is unsweetened applesauce. And
that's
please,
sweetening it up, right?
Yes, but unsweetened applesauce, not sweetened applesauce. If you buy the sweet, then you get into the HCSF, which is a 4-letter word: high fructose corn syrup. HFCS. Yeah, that.
I did that, and that's a no.
Yes, that's the big no. You ever see corn syrup? Just put it back, throw it away.
Yes.
Whatever you have to do.
Yes.
So, and then our almond. Gluten-free almond chocolate chip walnut cookie made with almond meal, coconut sugar, eggs, baking powder, chocolate chips, and
you just said coconut sugar, right?
yes, coconut oil,
yes,
and walnuts.
yes.
So you want to give us some of the benefits?
Well, first of all, let's talk about the cookie is made out of the almond flour. So for those of you who are trying to do a ketogenic program or a program where you're trying to keep your carbs down, almond flour has a low glycemic index. So I know you heard me mention that earlier. It's not going to spike insulin. It's not going to be heavy on the carbs. And so it can be used in weight loss programs and still be that extra treat so that you don't feel like you're depriving yourself. Whereas in the brownie, we do use the Namaste flour, so it is gluten-free. But again, we're using applesauce and coconut sugar, so it's not as high in sugar as a regular treat that would have turbinado sugar or table sugar in it. And then let's get back to the chocolate because we want to know the benefits of chocolate. Chocolate,
yes, please.
yeah, it's high in magnesium. First of all, and magnesium, they say if you were to be stranded on an island and you could take one supplement with you, it would be magnesium. It's needed for every enzymatic function in the body, from our hormones to our neurotransmitters in our brain. For women, cramping, it helps with cramping. When we're magnesium deficient, you're going to have more of that. So we like to use chocolate, and that's why we crave chocolate at certain times.
And if you're planning on being stranded on an island, you're going to take magnesium supplements. Also, a magnesium bar is great for starting fires. It acts like a flint.
Wow.
Strike it with a rock and it'll spark up.
I didn't know that. So we could take the chocolate and the magnesium bar.
Right.
What is a magnesium bar?
It looks almost like a sharpening stone. It's about yay big, and it's a piece of magnesium. But just give it with a rock and sparks right up like flint.
Oh, wow. Learn something new every day.
Yep.
And then walnuts, of course, we've got some nuts in there, which is going to give us fiber, some good fat. So all of these treats are something that are going to make you feel satisfied. You're going to actually be getting some health benefits from them, and you're not making yourself feeling deprived that you can't have some of these things if you're on different nutrition or weight loss programs.
Right. And everything that we have here today, we didn't really go into cooking a lot of things or else we'd be here for like 2 days trying to show everybody everything. But all these are going to be available in our new culinary guide coming out in January.
Yes.
Redbird Pharmacy culinary guide. But if you have any questions, any thoughts, please email us at nutritiousmeatsdelicious@gmail.com.
Gmail.com, yes. And our culinary guide is going to be fun because it's not just a cookbook. We will have some nutrition tips in it. And then Andrew, my husband, is a food geek, so
Food history
geek. So he's going to tell you the history of all the recipes. But again, we want to help you guys with anything you need, so please feel free to email us and then look out for our culinary guide in January.
That's right. All right, so we'll see you next week.
Next week,
Saving
the world one bite at a time.